and welcome to the Power Gamer Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Dawson, joined as always by fellow host Johnny Paulus. Johnny, welcome in, sir. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? How was your week?
My week was the wrong person to ask that question to. Yeah, I was traveling all week, and it was great. And then I'm home for a flash, and then I'm going back out on the road in hours. I'll be at my first stop in 12 hours from now.
Yeah.
And just before the show started, I shared with Johnny my my death march plans through the state of Virginia. Virginia is big, ladies and gentlemen. It's a big fucking state. I mean, it's not Texas big, but there's a lot of nothing in roads in Virginia, and if you're just driving laps around it, it takes a while. And so yeah, I've got basically the whole next week of my life planned out. I'll be leaving early tomorrow morning, returning late Thursday evening. And then Friday, we get in the car and take off for our mini anniversary getaway at the ocean. So
nice.
I won't see my bed again until Sunday night when we're doing this again.
Wow.
That'll be the next time.
Sounds like a week.
So, and I haven't seen my bed actually in a long time, because when I got home from my trip, unfortunately Amy is sick, so I've been sleeping on the couch. So I am looking forward to getting on the road just to get back in a bed.
Yeah,
honestly. So
we had my work had their holiday party today, so I had big expensive steak and big expensive hors d'oeuvres, and it was good food, good grub, good drinks, good company. I have that super full feeling now. Like, I mean, I haven't touched food since like 3 p.m. and I'm still full. So, you had a good meal when that's the case.
Remember when the holiday parties used to roll around Guitar Center, and I was the only one who like made it a point to stay sober?
Yep. Well, especially the Guitar Center Christmas parties. I mean, it was like you had 10 people were guaranteed to get blackout. I mean, just absolutely hammered.
It's like people came on a mission just to get as trashed around their coworkers as humanly possible. I never understood that.
Yeah.
I never wanted to be that guy at a work thing.
Yeah, no, I will admit that happened to me at my first Guitar Center holiday party, but after that, I think I managed to behave myself. I mean, that doesn't mean I didn't get drunk, but I'd never got like blackout again. I got blackout that one time, and that was good. That was enough for me.
Yeah, there was a lot of people passing out and things like that. So
yeah,
I don't miss the work Christmas party life. We don't do one with my company, obviously, because we all live in different states basically. So
right.
When we meet, it's usually at a con or whatever.
Yeah, no, current work's holiday party is definitely more big boy adult. It's not everybody's behaving themselves, and it's just good food and good company.
One would hope. I mean, unless it's the owner that wants to come in and get all fucking trashed. I bet that'd be funny.
That would be funny, but no, he doesn't drink.
Yeah, so that's my week. Yeah, it feels like I've been living in a vortex. So, I did get a couple streams in, which was nice.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you're going to hear it here on my what we've been playing this week, because the answer for old Mike Dawson is not a whole hell of a lot. So, anything else going on with you before we dig into the fat here?
No, I think we're ready to go.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, then, welcome in. Brief intro segment, which means we're going to get down to business. It's episode 96 of the Power Gamer Podcast. We have many things to discuss, including a brilliant wrap-up of our predictions from last week. So, without further ado, we're going to begin this episode, though, how we always begin our episodes, and first talk about what we've been playing this week. Let me hit that drop. Oh, we still don't have a drop. Maybe next time we'll have a drop for it.
We'll see.
What we've been playing this week, I guess I'll get out of the way first, because I was living in a hotel room. When I got back to stream, I did get to play some more Silent Hill 3. Hill 3 is the first time in the series after playing all of 1 and 2 where I had that feeling of, oh shit, you do actually need to go back and have had played Silent Hill 1 to understand what the fuck's going on in Silent Hill 3, because those games are really tight at the hip. So I kind of got to the moment where everything gets kind of put together. I guess for anyone who's played the game, great. I feel bad. I don't want to say a spoiler for a Silent Hill game, even though they're like 20 fucking years old, because they're kind of making a resurgence right now.
Right, and they might be remaking them and all that.
Well, yeah, because they're redoing 2.
Yeah,
but I have a feeling that's got to happen for all of them here at some point. So, and there's people like picking up the HD collection and stuff, which for PC guys at least, there's some patches that make it not run like a giant pile of dog shit. But yeah, with the whole
and I will
wave.
actually say on the PlayStation Plus, the PlayStation Now streaming on PC, whatever, one of the games I tested was Silent Hill, and it ran really well. So you can, if you have the subscription, can fire up the PC client and play it right on your computer.
So Silent Hill 3 going well. It's taking me a tremendous amount of time to beat a 6-hour game, which probably tells you about how the rest of my week has gone. I did not get to play any more Callisto Protocol. I'm thinking at this point I'm just going to restart the game when I can finally sit down and actually play it. Did not get to play any God of War Ragnarok. No. What I did do while traveling is played a lot of Marvel Snap, of course. We're gonna save getting in depth on that because we teased this last week. It was just kind of a spitball idea that I had, but I think we're pretty serious about actually starting a podcast of some sort that's focused just on Marvel Snap, even if it's like 30 minutes or so.
Yeah,
just to put it out there and see how it does. We certainly have a lot to say about that game, and I kind of feel like you either care about it or you have no idea what the fuck we're talking about. So we're not going to do any more in-depth Marvel Snap conversations here on the main show.
I think that's a safe bet, regardless of if we do a podcast or not. I don't think we need to. I mean, we've deep dove into a couple of our deck, and people that have never played the game are like, I have no idea.
Zero clue what we're talking about. So I did play a lot of Marvel Snap, but great. Here's the more important one. So Oregon Trail, I'm still playing. I gave about as glowing a review as humanly possible of that game.
Really did.
Week. And it's still holding up if I don't feel even more strongly about it. So play that game. Dark Tide. So I played Dark Tide because I had my gaming laptop with me, and my hotel internet connections were fabulous my whole last run. I mean, I was getting like 20, 30 down in my hotel room so I could play online multiplayer. No problem. So Dark Tide, this is an interesting game. Dark Tide, it just came out. A lot of people care about this game a lot, and a lot of those people listen to the show. And I think, to be fair to the game, there's good and bad to it. And I don't seem to see too many people have like a middle road take on this game. It seems like people either like fucking love these games or think they're giant piles of dog shit. And it's not a giant pile of dog shit. It's definitely not.
Yeah, I agree.
But it's not great either. It's interesting. So Dark Tide sort of reminds me. I mean, obviously this is a somewhat continuation of Vermintide that came out a few years ago.
Yep.
And the gameplay loop,
successor at least, yeah.
Yeah, the gameplay loop is, I guess, the same. But this is going to attract a lot of people to the series that didn't come to it before, because now it's the 40K universe versus the fantasy universe. So there's going to be a lot of new faces in here. So just generally speaking, what these Tide games are about is it's like single instanced, like if you play Destiny and you run a strike, it's kind of like you're playing strikes when you play these games. So you and it's very similar where, it's a little squad that you get deployed with of other players. There's a sea of enemies for you to chew through. And then maybe a boss at the end or something, and then that's a wrap on a level. So it's okay. It kind of feels a little redundant because you're just doing the same thing over and over to like unlock gear and get credits so you can buy new gear. And this game is like built to be a time sink, and then it has a store attached to it. So my general thought on Darktide is, whereas it is enjoyable to play to an extent, that it's not worth anything to pay for. So I guess it's good that it's come out on Game Pass. Because I would never pay cash for a game like this. It feels like a free-to-play game, the format of it at least. So it should just be probably free-to-play. That would make sense for it. But the actual like meat and potatoes of the game is just kind of stale to me.
Well, so I tried Darktide as well, and I didn't play enough of it to give any sort of real opinion. But I can tell you that I bought Vermintide with my own money, and I bought Vermintide 2 with my own money, and I don't feel like I got my investment back in either of them. I'd get a handful of friends that were like, oh my God, you got to play this game. It's so good, blah, 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 blah. And I come in, and within an hour, I'm like, oh, it's just a grind. It's just a grind. It's a grind over and over and over and over again. And some people are into that. Some people are totally cool with like, here's my $60 and I have something that I can play every night for a year. And I'm just going to grind that content and get the best gear and the best stuff and beat everything on the highest challenge. And like, I get that. And if that's your thing, this is your game. Because, I mean, it does run really well. I think the presentation is good. The universe seems cool.
The running well thing is very subject to opinion, I think, because
and also I'm playing it on PC.
Well, if you're playing it on Game Pass, you're playing it on PC. I don't think it's been released on console yet.
Oh, got it. Okay.
The performance thing, you've got rose-colored glasses because you're already running a 3080 setup.
Yep.
So, yes, if you have the nicest fucking equipment on the planet, it does run great, and that's not surprising. It'd be really shitty if they released a game that wasn't
ran
optimized
poorly on a 3080. Yeah, that's true.
That wasn't optimized real well on 3080. On a very reasonable 11th generation i5 with a 2060, it runs like fucking dog shit. And that's kind of not good. Because that's not really that dated hardware in the grand scheme of things in the PC universe.
Well, the 60s are kind of nerfed. I mean, like I'd have to Google it, but I think a 1070 beats a 2060.
Let me just reiterate. If I set the settings to low on a PC game, with hardware that's a couple years old, that laptop's maybe 2 years old, I should feel like I'm getting like 50 to 60 frames per second.
I think that's a fair assumption. Yeah.
Not 20 or 30.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
It's rough. It runs really fucking rough. So
I'll give you that. That's rough.
It's not optimized well unless you have very up-to-date hardware. So a lot of guys checking it out on PC. Yeah, if you're not in the 3070, 3080 crowd, I would probably say 2080 or better.
Yeah.
You're going to have a bad time with this. It's not going to go great. It is very GPU dependent versus CPU dependent, which I did notice. But yeah, I mean, it's rough. So, yeah, it didn't run great, and that's okay. I mean, I'm good at dealing with games that don't particularly run well. So I'm like 30 frames per second. I can live with that because it's me playing. But yeah, I was a little disappointed that even on low, that's all we were pulling. So
yeah, it's a bit rough.
Yeah, it's okay. The game's very. I played enough of it, I think, to say give a full take. I played probably like 5 or 6 hours of the game. I didn't really have shit else to do while I was out on the road. So, it's average. I think if I was going to play a kind of game like this, I would just stick to Destiny, honestly.
Yeah.
But if you're really into the Warhammer universe and you want to play a game like that, okay, fine. But
or really love the Vermintide games. I mean, this is just the next in that sort of series.
sure. But it's like a 6-1, 6-2.
Yeah.
It's okay. If you're the right person for it, you're going to rate it a lot higher, kind of thing. So,
Yep.
Yeah, that about sums it up for me, Johnny. What were you working on this week?
I've been gaming hard. I haven't beaten God of War Ragnarok yet, but I'm ready to say that it is better than the last one in every way, shape, and form. I don't have any question at all that it's going to be my pick for Game of the Year. It's fucking flawless. I mean, it's perfect. There were a few puzzles earlier in the game that got on my nerves. Outside of that, the combat, the story, the twists and turns, and it keeps throwing twists at me. It keeps going, okay, now we're going in this direction. And you're like, what? Where the fuck are we going? What? I'm playing as who now? There's a lot of big twists in this game.
I wish I could fucking dump that.
Sorry,
that was rough.
I didn't say who.
Johnny.
You played as Atreus in the last game.
Johnny.
You played as Atreus in the last game.
He's just spoiling everything for everyone right now. Look at him go. There's people that haven't played the first game either, Johnny.
Okay. Well, it's really, really, really fucking good. And if it sticks the landing, as hard as dude, I've fought so hard to not spoil this game, and I've done very good. I'm sorry I slipped up. Take a breath. You'll be okay.
It's not me. I don't care. I'll read the spoilers for fucking everything.
Right. But so with Ragnarok being as good as it is, as far as I am into this game, I think it's going to be in the conversation for the best 1-2 punch in gaming history. It's really fucking solid. I'm the first into the second.
Hey, I'm actually going to make a call here because that is fucking really heavy slip. I know it was just a slip. It's fine. But I think that has to get cut. So I'm going to edit that out.
Okay.
So we'll see how clean this sounds. If I need to like jump in and do a
just I mean, that was just at the very beginning of my what have I been playing.
Well, I know, so but if it sounds like crap because I have to slice it,
right.
I'll just put in hey, we accidentally threw a spoiler, so
yeah. Hey, Johnny slipped a spoiler.
Over,
sorry, we're gonna edit it out. Okay.
So blah blah blah. What have you been playing this week?
I've been actually gaming pretty hard this week. I've gotten decently far in God of War Ragnarok, and I'm ready to say that I think it's a masterpiece. I think it's the best game I've played all year. I think it was deserving of the accolades that it received at the Video Game Awards, which we're going to talk about. It continues to unravel in ways that I did not foresee, and there's a lot more twists and turns. I think the story is actually even better than the last one, which the last one was amazing. And the combat is I mean, it's like everything is elevated. It's like if God of War was a 9.4, this feels like a 9.5. Like, it's so fucking good. I'm really kind of stunned at how great it is. So I've been playing a lot of that, and then I've also completely fallen down the rabbit hole that is Midnight Suns. We all knew it was coming. I mean, as soon as they announced that they were going to make a Marvel XCOM game, I'm like, well, fuck, that's going to take over my life for a few months. And here we are. The combat, while somewhat dumbed down from XCOM, is starting to get more and more complicated as I'm getting more decks, and I'm choosing which cards I want to spend more resources to get upgraded versions of. And in the original XCOM games, there's always that risk-reward of, well, I really want to do this mission, but my Billy Badass Ranger is injured right now, and he's in the infirmary. Do I have the people that I need to finish this mission that has like a ticking clock? Because some of these missions are like, you've got to do them quick. You need to do them now. And you go to pull up your roster and you're like, damn, Captain Marvel's kind of underleveled for this. Damn, Spider-Man's still injured. And you're, well, we got to figure out a way to get through it. And I had the best fight I've had yet in this game. I was one of the big story missions, and a big bad shows up, a big boss in the middle of the fight, and it got to the point where Hunter, the main character, was downed. Who else was with me? Doctor Strange was downed, and the only one left was Iron Man, and Iron Man. And this boss, I don't want to spoil who it was, but it's a character you probably know from the Marvel Universe. We went back and forth for probably 8 or 9 turns because he kept having a shield, and I kept like, okay, Iron Man has ways to like add block to himself, has ways to stun targets. So like I'm literally just surviving and ticking away a little bit of damage. And this just went on and on and on. It was a really intense fight. And I enjoyed it a lot. And I know when you were watching me play it on stream, you were commenting like, oh, this level looks like you've already played it before. And I think that is a fair thing to point out. But the same argument could be made with a JRPG. I mean, every single fight you get in this zone looks sort of like that. The story missions are not that. And when you get to the story missions, they're big and they have cinematics and there's story involved and blah, blah, blah. But there are a lot of filler missions that are very much like you're going, I need money. This mission has money. Let's go do it. And it's probably going to be a rooftop or a garage or something that you've already seen. But the combat is so fun that you let it slide. Really, my main gripe is that it feels so much like a BioWare game in the way that you have these friendship meters and you can gift things and you can compliment the people on your team and you can do like private one-on-ones with any character to try to raise your friendship level, and you give them gifts and all of those things. But there is no romance option for anyone. And, you know, I think my character should be getting it on with Captain Marvel, and I'm a little annoyed that I can't, you know? I understand why Disney/Marvel would be like, no, you're not going to be scrumping Spider-Man. That's not going to happen. But it is a little disappointing that they have this like really robust friendship system and everything is plutonic. It's all very, very plutonic. Yeah, it is. It's super friend zone. But that being said, you know, some of it's janky, and what really matters is the gameplay, and the gameplay is fucking awesome. It's so much fun. I am obsessed with this game. I can't stop playing it. And then, you know, obviously, like I said, Marvel Snap. Both been playing a lot of Marvel Snap, but that's all I got there.
Well, fantastic. So last week we made predictions based on the Video Game Award, and the Video Game Awards have now come and gone, and we know who has won everything. And I even noticed that you were so kind as to go in and mark out the winners and stuff. Look at you go.
Like, I could see that you weren't watching it in real time, and I was, so I just figured I might as well mark this off while I'm watching.
Yeah, I actually finished watching it last night. When I got back from a break streaming, I was like, let's just put this on for the rest of the night and do that. So let's run through the categories that we cared about. We're not going to talk about the best esports player.
No.
But we are going to talk about the ones that matter to us. So let's go straight for the big one here. Game of the Year. So the Game of the Year nominees were Plague Tale Requiem, Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Stray, and Xenoblade Chronicles 3. So I wanted Horizon. Johnny, you wanted God of War.
Yep.
But we both thought that it would be Elden Ring.
Yep.
So who won Game of the Year?
Elden Ring.
Elden Ring won Game of the Year, and I would say much to the surprise of nobody.
Yeah, I mean, I think most of us going in kind of knew it was either going to be God of War or Elden Ring. But
Honestly, with this award show, I wouldn't have been surprised if we were handed a curveball. Especially because of last year with It Takes Two winning.
that's very true.
But yeah, Elden Ring I think is a clear, easy to win pick, as it was, I guess just, and still is, a phenomenon that's just taken over everything. So
Yep.
but like last year, It Takes Two won over what, Metroid Dread, right?
Yeah.
Deathloop, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, Psychonauts 2, Resident Evil Village. So I mean, it was against some pretty meaty competition. I would say somewhat, if we took Elden Ring out, I mean, I guess, yeah, you're right. It would probably be God of War.
Yeah.
Would be your one you would think. But I mean, last year I thought, well, surely it's got to be either Metroid Dread or Deathloop.
Yeah.
And then it's like, no. It's It Takes Two. It's like, well,
Yeah, I did not see that coming last year. But no, this year I think we called it. And you're right. I mean, I think as much as I just raved and ranted about God of War and how much I've kind of picked apart my qualms with the From Software games and the Elden Ring games, Elden Ring is the only one on that list that is a phenomenon and is going to continue to be a phenomenon, and people are going to be coming up with challenges and doing them on Twitch 5 years from now, going, oh, I did this boss with a fucking wet noodle and no armor. Look at me go. That's just, it's one of those games that people are going to be playing forever.
I still think about it. I mean, it's epic, and it's not like anything else for sure. So, Elden Ring took Game of the Year, which we both thought. So far,
yeah,
so good with our predictions.
So far, we're 1 for 1.
Next up, Best Game Direction. Johnny, who were the nominees?
The nominees for Best Game Direction were Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Immortality, and Stray.
Yeah, so this one was interesting. I thought that Stray was going to take the win for Best Game Direction, and I also wanted it to, because Stray was a great little game that I felt like needed some recognition here. Johnny, what were your picks?
My pick was God of War Ragnarok because I was calling out a bunch of the visual stuff that's happened in that I've never really seen in other games, and just there's a lot of really cool creative things done in this game, and I've been very, very surprised by them. So yeah, I thought God of War Ragnarok was going to win. This was one of the ones we got wrong.
Yeah, the winner for it was Elden Ring, which actually kind of reflecting on this, yeah, I think it's the right call. I mean, taking a very linear franchise like Demon Souls, Dark Souls, and turning it into what Elden Ring is, pretty impressive. And maybe the other one that needed, maybe we should have been more hip to here, was Immortality.
Yeah. Yeah, Immortality wasn't on my radar at all until the nominees were announced, and I was like, shit, I guess I need to play this game.
You have an energy drink, Johnny Pals?
Why?
Like, you don't have to comment on this stuff if you don't want to. I mean, it's there's we gotta have something to say about the damn winners.
Yeah,
I know we're a few days removed from this, but
no, I mean, with Elden Ring winning, I wasn't upset at all. I mean, the world in that game is so robust, and the fact that you can go in any direction and find something, and I mean, yeah, I didn't mind that choice at all. But Immortality, we're both out of the loop on for sure.
I feel like I'm having to prod you awake, sir.
I'm fine. I'm wide awake.
Everything's good?
I'm fine.
This is fun. Now we have everyone listening's attention because they're like, what the fuck is happening right now?
I don't know. I'm fine. I don't know what he's talking about.
All right.
I'm good.
All right. We'll see. Because next we have Best Narrative. Who was nominated for Best Narrative, Johnny?
I cannot. Okay, there we go. Sorry, I couldn't unmute my mic.
Oh, my goodness.
Best narrative for outstanding storytelling and narrative development in a game: Plague Tale, Requiem, Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, and Immortality.
Yeah, and for narrative, I thought, Horizon was the shoe-in for narrative's sake, because it's the greatest story ever told in a video game, is the Horizon series. I will die on that hill. But then I picked Plague Tale to win because it's like, well, it's nominated for all this shit. Surely it has to win something.
Right.
How about narrative? Because the story in that was good and conclusive in ways, but still open-ended in others. If you've played the game, you know what I mean by that. Johnny, what about you?
I still have to play Plague Tale. My choice was God of War Ragnarok. Again, it's a masterpiece. I mean, the story is crazy good, and the direction and the again, I think the story in Ragnarok is even stronger than the last game, and I've been thoroughly impressed with it, and I'm not even done yet. So that was the one I thought was going to win, and it was the one that I wanted to win, and I'm proud to say that it was the one that won.
It is the one that won. So God of War now has best narrative lockdown, and man, it's going to keep rolling here.
Yeah, it really does.
for it and Elden Ring. So best art direction was Elden Ring, God of War, Horizon, Scorn, and Stray. Now I thought for damn sure that Scorn was going to win this, because that's basically all the game had going for it was art direction. Even though I wanted it to be Stray, because I thought that world was beautifully crafted. However, Johnny coming in with the double dong here,
doubled down on the Elden Ring,
and came up with the winner. So far, Johnny's doing a lot better with this than I am. Best score. Now, I was very much wanting Elden Ring to win in this category, because I love the music in that game. But then I'm sitting there thinking to myself, I'm like, well, it's got to be Xenoblade, because them JRPGs have beautiful music.
They do.
And and
I came in with the curveball for Metal Hellsinger. I thought that might win because that's the first game we've ever had where you have big name artists with like a whole heavy metal soundtrack doing a bunch of original songs and stuff. I was like, that's got to count for something. That's got to get him best score, right?
What's ironic here is the parity between this year and last year in score.
Mm-hmm.
I thought, after watching Nier Replicant win last year, that, okay, so that's where they're going with this. So Xenoblade then.
Right.
But yeah, you'll remember, so last year it was Nier Replicant, Cyberpunk 2077, Deathloop, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, and The Artful Escape, which is a wonderful game if you're not familiar with it. It's very short too, only like 3 hours. But Guardians of the Galaxy very much had that whole same thing going for it as Metal Hellsinger. I mean, there was the licensed music soundtrack, but then there was that entire soundtrack crafted for the game for streamers. That's just amazing.
Yeah, that was an entire like hair metal album called Star-Lord.
Yeah.
That was like in his Walkman, and you could just go into the settings and turn copyright music off and jam out to some Star-Lord, and sounded like hair metal to me. It was pretty cool.
But then it's just God of War. So God of War was the winner of best score.
I mean, it doesn't surprise me, but neither of us picked this. I know we both. Did we both think Elden Ring was going to win, or we both wanted Elden Ring to win?
I think we both wanted it to win.
I think that sounds right. I think we both. I mean, dude, the score in Elden Ring is so good.
It's one of the highlights of it. I mean, the moment you log in and the Elden Ring theme starts going, it's wonderful. Best indie game. Now, best indie game was pretty well within what we thought was going to happen. The nominees were Cult of the Lamb, Neon White, Sifu, Stray, and Tunic. And boy, am I happy about the results. So I wanted Cult of the Lamb to win, even though I knew Stray was winning. Johnny, you wanted Sifu to win. And you too knew that Stray was winning.
I mean, it was the only one that was in the Game of the Year list.
Correct.
Like, it wouldn't make any sense if some other game won when Stray is nominated for Game of the Year to not win the indie category. But, I mean, I will say of any of the Game Awards that I remember watching and looking at the lists, that's a packed house, man.
It is.
I mean, those are some solid games there. I mean, like, you play any one of those games, you're going to have a good time. Unless you're Mike Dawson and
you've got the head, the shoulders, the torso, the legs, and the ass. All there. I mean, it's a complete body of work.
Mike's eternal hatred of Tunic just amuses me to no end.
Game is something else. And you know what it won?
God.
Nothing. It won.
Yeah, no, Tunic didn't win shit.
Nothing. Which is unfortunate. Because it should have won something. Most annoying game of the year, Tunic. Perfect.
They need a new category. Most annoying game of the year.
The kid talking about Bill Clinton can present the award.
Oh my god, that was so dumb.
Next up, best mobile game. We picked Marvel Snap, and Marvel Snap won.
Hell yes. I mean, this is the clear winner. I mean, when I was looking at this, it's a list of shit that has already been around, we've already played, and there's nothing new. And it's Apex Legends, Genshin Impact. I know Diablo Immortal's new, but that format of game is nothing new. It is just Diablo on your cell phone. But Marvel Snap is a banger. I mean, it's a banger, and I'm glad that it won. It deserves to win, and Marvel Snap is the shit. I'm glad that it won.
Best action game. Bayonetta 3, Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 2, Neon White, Sifu, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. Now, I, of course, wanted Shredder's Revenge to win because I'm a sane human being. Johnny, who's also a sane human being, wanted Sifu.
I wanted Sifu, man. Fuck.
I could not believe the amount of cheering that Call of Duty got when this category came up. I'm like,
yeah, I felt the same way.
People are like losing their mind in the audience over Call of Duty being nominated for something. I'm like,
I mean, it's like what, the 18th in a row or something.
And
I mean,
it's not
like
even
just
a
release one every
great one. It's just a one. Bayonetta 3 won, much deserved. Helena Taylor, stick that in your pipe and smoke it. Best.
Do you think she threw something in her house when it won?
I think that she thought
or do you think better yet, I think she took credit. She was like, well, of course it got Game of the Year because I
built the brand.
Put the voice on it.
I'm solely responsible for that entire series existing. Yeah. Not any of the other
succeeds because of me.
Not any of the other people who actually worked on and made the game. Just me, the voice actor who spent 5 hours recording the first two games.
Bum, bum, bum.
Next up, no love for Helena Taylor here. Next up, best action adventure. Plague Tale, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon, Stray, Tunic. We both thought and wanted God of War Ragnarok, and once again, we were both completely right.
Nailed it. Fucking nailed it.
Seemed obvious.
I mean, it's that's if in the genre that is action adventure, Gears of War is everything that you want. It's story, it's awesome combat, it's characters that you give a shit about. Man, so
Gears of War won best action adventure.
Oh god, did I always do that? I'm so bad at that.
Man,
God of War Ragnarok.
That game's been out for years.
Yeah, man. Gears 5 really got fucking.
Well, if it's
Gears 5 got no love at the Game Awards.
Yeah, not in 2022. Best RPG, Elden Ring, Live Alive, Pokemon Legends Arceus, Triangle Strategy, Xenoblade Chronicles 3. we both wanted Elden Ring to take this, but Johnny, you both wanted and thought it would. I thought that it being the Game Awards that we'd be handed a curveball and it'd be handed to Xenoblade 3. And I was wrong.
Which, I mean, I didn't really think was that bad of a call, but
I was wrong. It's Elden Ring, of course. Elden Ring. Most anticipated. Well, it's 3 years in a row.
3 years in a row.
For Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. So at least it's not the sequel to Breath of the Wild anymore. But Final Fantasy 16, Hogwarts Legacy, Resident Evil 4 Remake, Starfield, which is the one that we both wanted to be presented as most anticipated, considering that we've had Zelda being the most anticipated game now for a seventh of my life.
So I watched this entire award show with my wife, right? And when they're announcing the nominees, I'm like, man, I hope Zelda doesn't win. And my wife goes, why? Of course that's the most anticipated. It's all your son ever talks about. I'm like, this is the third year it's been nominated, and it's won 2 years in a row. She's like, oh, yeah, that's kind of bullshit. I'm like, yeah, they just keep delaying it, and it just keeps winning anticipated game of the year. So it's just going to be an endless rotation of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 getting the most anticipated. Well, maybe not, because we're apparently here we are in late 2022. They're telling us it's definitely coming 2023.
Yeah,
we have a release date, don't we?
I don't think we have a hard date, but
right.
Yeah, it's coming out on the stinky Switch with its terrible performance. So
yes, but hey, at least it's developed by Nintendo, so we know that it will run well and presentation will be good. It's not made by Game Freak.
I think that this Zelda game is going to behave like many a Zelda game before it. And it is going to release on the Switch. And shortly thereafter, a new system will come out and it will release there as well.
I agree. They're overdue. They need to make a Switch 2 that does 4K when docked on the TV and 1080 60 frames per second handheld. They need to do it.
And it needs to be called the Super Switch.
Oh, dude, absolutely. The Nintendo Super Switch, dude.
Bought.
Done. Take my money. I'll throw my wallet at the screen the moment they announce
Super
it.
Switch.
Super Switch? Fuck yeah.
I would love that.
Good call, Mike. Yeah, not Switch 2. No. We're going the old school.
Super Switch.
Fuck yeah. I love that idea.
Knowing them, they'll be like, behold, the new Nintendo Swii.
Oh, God.
So how'd we do? Well, we got Game of the Year correct. We both swung and missed on game direction, so we're 1-0. Johnny, keep track here. 1-0.
Okay.
Best narrative, Johnny, you got it right, so now we're 2-0.
Okay.
Best art direction, or rather, I'm sorry, we're 2-1. I should say we have one for a loss.
Yep.
Best art direction, Johnny, you nailed that. Best score, we missed. We missed hard. God of War surprised us and took that. Best indie, we got that one right with Stray. Best mobile, of course, we got that one right. Best action, we got correct with Bayonetta 3. Best action adventure, we also got that one right. Best RPG, correct again. Thank you, Johnny. And most anticipated, well, we hated it, but we called it. It was Zelda. So how do we do? We have 3 misses total? 2 misses total?
I wasn't counting the misses. I was tallying up the wins. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then I think you had one left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yeah, we missed on 2. So pretty good.
We did. I think, yeah. I remember when I was marking those off. I'm like, man, between Mike and myself, we did pretty good.
The score thing caught me off guard. The music, but right. So in addition to having game awards and us making predictions and things like that, there was also some announcements. Some we cared about, and some we didn't. Johnny, I don't know if you vetted my list or saw anything that you were personally excited about that I didn't write on here, or vice versa. There's something I put on here that you don't give a fuck about. But I did assume that we were both pretty amped for the new Hades game that we saw, which looks just like the first Hades game, so it's more Hades, which is not a bad thing. This time it's revealed that you are fighting against Kronos, who I believe is the god of time in mythology there, yes?
Yes.
So Hades 2 announced. That's pretty neat.
It looks amazing. I mean, the last one was, I would argue, one of the best roguelikes of all time. Because it gave you a reason to keep playing. It gave you a reason to do another. Because every time you would do it, the story would continue to unravel and add. And you were learning more and more about the characters. And I mean, the last one was fucking awesome. So I'm super in on the next one.
Most impressively, in my opinion, Ken Levine's new game, Judas.
Bro, you know I was excited on this
was revealed. BioShock is, of course, one of the greatest games ever made. And it was made by a fellow named Ken Levine, who now has Ghost Story Games, who has been working on a game for fucking ever.
Yeah.
And that game is Judas. I'll let you share your thoughts first on Judas.
It is unapologetically BioShocky. I mean, it is straight up, you like BioShock, here's the next BioShock. It's not called BioShock, but it's BioShock. I mean, it looks... What makes BioShock so compelling, I think, is that you are dropped into this world that is so fucking foreign and bizarre and crazy, and what are they doing? What's going on here? Who is that guy? What the fuck is happening? And as you play through the game and the story unravels, it's pretty heavy shit. It doesn't just... A lot of those games are just weird for the sake of being weird, and they don't really explain them, but the BioShock games are very good at giving you reasons for that. And this Judas game, even down to like the having the spell on your hand sort of thing is very BioShocky. I thought the universe looked very BioShocky. I'm okay with it, man. I mean, Ken Levine killed it with the entire BioShock trilogy, so he can have the keys to make whatever he wants, and he will have my money guaranteed.
My concern with it is that the very first thing that you said is how much it looks like BioShock, which has a very...
It is very BioShocky.
BioShock has a very distinct art style. And he's done other things. I mean, System Shock, of course, was the same person. He did System Shock too. So it's not like he's a one-note person, but yeah, it is kind of concerning that it looks identical to BioShock in its style. So we just saw that kind of backfire on Glenn Schofield with Callisto Protocol.
Yep.
Sometimes well enough is best left alone. And I'll be interested to see more details about it as it comes out.
Well, it's kind of like, I mean, here's an analogy. It's like when a band breaks up and the lead singer of the band or another member of the band, they're like, hey, we got this new project. And you hear it and it just sounds like the old band. No one gets excited about that. No one goes, oh, most people go, why would I can just go back and listen to the other shit. Like, this is the same thing. So, I mean, that's a genuine fear. But, again, Ken Levine has struck lightning many, many, many times. And System Shock 2 has influenced the entire first-person shooting genre for even now. We're feeling the changes that System Shock 2 brought to gaming. So I'm curious to see what he's got left, but I'm with you. I'm a tiny bit reserved that it looks...
Well, like if he had come out and made Deathloop, which feels like a game that he could have made. Basically everything Arcane does feels like a game that he could have made. Then that'd be one thing. But yeah, I am just kind of... It's not a lot to go off of, so I'll save judgment for when we have more. But it does look like this is very cloney of past work. But it's one of the most notable things shown because we've just been hearing about this forever, and now we've finally seen it. So check.
Yeah, we've known he's been doing something.
Check out the trailer when you have a chance. Jedi Survivor. We finally seen gameplay for Jedi Survivor. And the gameplay looks good, but it does just sort of look like more of Jedi Fallen Order. So it's more of what we like, I suppose.
Yeah, well, I mean, the last one was the second best Star Wars game ever made. So,
what first is
Knights of the Old Republic.
Okay, I could see people going either way with that. If you're more into the Souls-like thing, obviously, Jedi is going to be your pick. Yeah.
But no, the trailer looks great. I mean, I'm very, very excited. Day one purchase, I'm in. I loved the last.
Likewise,
one.
I had a lot of fun with the last one. It's a Souls light because it's much easier and much more linear and fun.
I actually played that game on hard and enjoyed myself.
It's fun. It's genuinely fun to play. So we got to see an older Cal Kestis, which was cool.
Yeah,
and that's about it. It's an older Cal and new shit's going down. There's new bad guys, and it looks cool.
Not really revealing much as far as the story goes. It was definitely still felt very much like a teaser. It's a whiz bang trailer. We have no idea who the guy in the tank is or what any of this shit is happening. At least I don't.
Oh man, this next one means a lot to old Mike Dawson here. It looked fucking beautiful, but now granted it's a CG trailer.
Yeah,
but From Software are kings of shit mountain right now, and for them to come back with a new Armored Core game,
yeah, that's wild. I did not see that coming,
and it looks awesome. So Armored Core, for those uninitiated, is one of the most hardcore mech sims around ever, and the amount of customization in those games is damn well near endless, and they're beautiful. They're just great games. So a new modern Armored Core game, that's a take my money moment.
And I remember our friend Jason had the whole Armored Core setup. If you remember, one of the Armored Cores, I think it was 360, they released the $300 version of the game that had switches and levers, and it was like an entire cockpit. Is that not Armored Core?
That's Steel Battalion.
Ah, okay. I'm mixing up my franchises. My bad.
Steel Battalion is bad as fuck, but it is not Armored Core.
Okay. I got my franchises mixed
because Steel Battalion also only outputs in a 4:3 resolution. I need to get that set up for.
Yeah, that would be cool.
my Trinitron over there. I've had my eyes on a few sets. I've just not felt like pulling the trigger on.
What's the number on
$500
nowadays?
It's not bad yet.
Okay, that's not. I mean, that's a lot of money, but at least it's not like, you'd think stuff like that where it wasn't a huge seller and it was $300, now it's $2,000. But
I mean, for how much hardware that is, yeah, it's not a bad price at all.
It's a lot of hardware.
It's pedals,
pretty impressive.
Two joysticks on the console, the fucking flashing eject button and shit, and it's.
Yeah, I remember there was like a whole string of switches you had to do in the right order to like fire up the
just
Mac.
turn it on. Yeah,
it was wild.
So Armored Core 6, Death Stranding 2, huge announcement. The newest game from Kojima. I like that he goes right back to Death Stranding. There was all this speculation about all this other bullshit for the past few years, and nope, it's going right back to his new masterpiece series, which is Death Stranding. So. And the new game looks awesome, just like the first one did.
It's a game that you and I have both slept on. I think I think 2023, you and I need to take down Death Stranding.
Yeah, I have, however, watched almost the entire game played. So
got it. I know very little other than you're a courier and you deliver shit.
It's the kind of game that scratches my brain completely. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
All right. So next is a personal pick of mine. And this game is as Mike Dawson.
Oh, I dude, I thought of you the moment I saw this trailer.
This game
really
is
did.
as Mike Dawson games come. Oh boy. Replaced. So my most anticipated game, for those keeping track, is already a game called The Last Faith, which is sort of a Bloodborne style 2D side-scrolling Metroidvania, very a la Blasphemous. And now instead it will be a game called Replaced, which is apparently coming out this month. Because even in the trailer,
I didn't know it comes out this month.
It has to, because they're saying 2022.
Wow.
And it happens to be the last time I checked, the last month of 2022. So it has to be coming out this month. It's coming to Game Pass day one. So just needs to release, and I will be playing this game.
This was without a doubt one of the biggest standout trailers of the whole show.
If Blasphemous was like fucking Blade Runner.
Dude, the art design in this game, their use of depth of field and pixel art is fucking incredible. It's the best I've ever seen. I mean,
Yes.
They took what Octopath Traveler did and just
look at the screenshot I just sent you in Discord. I know all the people out there watching can't see it, but they can hear you audibly react to it.
It's stunning.
I can't wait.
It looks so good. Yeah, no, that trailer just looks.
And I'm happy it's a 2022 release, because that means I'll be ranking it in part with all the wonderful games that we've had this year. So, okay, yeah, that's my personal pick. Okay, yeah, I get it. Some people aren't going to be excited for that, but
I have a personal pick as well.
One of which I am very not surprised to see you point out, because
it's kind of on brand. I mean, my Twitch name is Hell Hero. I currently have a Hellboy Buddha attached to my microphone. I have the entire Hellboy library edition of hardcover books. If you're watching the YouTube, that's those right there. I'm a huge Hellboy fan, and when I saw that Mike Mignola is involved in a Hellboy game, just when I saw that, I was excited. And then when they first show it, it has that art design that I love from the original Mignola books, which is black is black. There is no dark. There is no gray. Everything in those Hellboy books is either black or white or a color. There is never grays. Everything is very, very, very dark. And when they first show Hellboy show up, they almost presented it. It was a nice little like sleight of hand. It looked like it's going to be a 2D Metroidvania sort of indie-ish sort of game. Then the camera whips behind him, and no, this is a third-person 3D Hellboy game that looks like the comic book come to life. If you have not watched this trailer, pull it up and watch it. It looks absolutely insane. I am beyond excited. I'm a huge Hellboy fan. I'm obsessed with Hellboy, and dude, they nailed what I love about Hellboy, which is that art design.
And I like that it's comic book Hellboy, not movie Hellboy.
Correct, and that's what I'm talking about. And the thing is, I even enjoy all three Hellboy movies, even the new one that everybody shit on. I like all of them. But I still prefer the comics. There's something about the presentation in the comics. There's something that's so menacing and how dark everything is. And they nailed that art design perfectly in this game. I can't wait. It looks amazing.
Well, that wraps up Game Awards 2022. So without further ado, it's now time for the final segment of the show. I can talk. Final segment of the show. We've had all sorts of communication problems today. I don't know. I mean, for those listening, I cut out a giant spoiler earlier that Johnny let slip. I mean, it was super casual too. It was like
Yeah,
just a slip of the tongue, just one wrong word.
Yeah. Well, no, dude, it's been really hard to talk about Ragnarok, and I've been so good about keeping the spoilers out. It's tough. It's
so
tough.
Edited that. I had to combat Johnny's, I think his ADD earlier was like just in full effect. And, I just had to bring him back in. And now I can't talk.
You're here,
now
right?
I can't talk. So we need to end the show is where we're at. Jesus Christ. The final segment of the show, Johnny, that segment is called Is the Drop Going to Work? This always scares me when I hit it and it doesn't trigger. Okay, never mind. What up? Ladies and gentlemen, that's right. It's time for One Up. Johnny, I'm not quite sure what you've typed here in the One Up section.
That was the score tracking for the awards. It's okay. You can ignore it.
I wasn't sure if you had a stroke maybe during the episode.
No. I was putting eyes for
tallying
which ones we got right. I was tallying. That's all. I was
Johnny,
doing.
what's your One Up this week?
My One Up is don't forget about that Thanksgiving turkey and all of the things that you can.
We're coming back to the turkey.
I'm back to the turkey because we made some amazing turkey soup, right? We had such a big ass turkey that I grabbed out the butcher's knife and I chopped that fucker in half and wrapped up one half in foil and put it in the freezer and wrapped up the other half and put it in the freezer. And we just put that whole thing in the pot and let that thing cook all day. And then threw some big old noodles in it with some carrots and some celery and some, oh man. Just don't forget that you can do that. Don't let that turkey go to waste. You use every last bit of that turkey. And I have a whole other Christmas turkey yet to be cooked, probably this month. But don't forget about that turkey soup and what you can do with it.
My One Up this week is something that I found finally. It finally has found its way home.
Uh-oh, what did you find? Oh, Resident Evil Survivor. I don't even know what that is.
The worst Resident Evil game of all time. Resident Evil Survivor for the Sony PlayStation 1. That's right, ladies and gentlemen.
What? Why is it bad?
It is the first person Resident Evil game.
Oh
and it's
God.
really fucking terrible, but it's one that I've needed for my collection. It presents itself as a light gun shooter, but it's not actually a light gun shooter. You play it with a controller. So it's kind of like shitty on the same level that like Revolution X was shitty on the Super Nintendo. Except it's a Resident Evil game. For the
Oh no, I just pulled it up on YouTube. This is bad.
Oh, it's bad, but I
This is like Revolution X.
That's what
bad. Remember the Aerosmith shooting
What did
game?
I just say? What is wrong with your ADD today, dude?
No, I was pulling it up on YouTube. That's what's wrong.
No, I was just talking about Revolution X, and then you just asked me,
exactly what
do you remember Revolution X? When I had just got done saying that it's just like Revolution X.
Yeah, no, that it's you hit the nail on the head. That's what
Oh
it
my
looks
gosh.
like. That's rough.
Johnny, are you okay, man?
I'm fine. I was pulling it up on YouTube. I'm used to Mike Dawson talk. Okay, give me color commentary. I missed what you said. I'm sorry.
That's funny that you just came back to the same thing that I said.
I came to the exact same conclusion with watching 10 seconds.
That's
of gameplay.
hilarious.
I was like, this looks like Revolution X.
Wow. Good job.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a deep cut by today's standards, especially the console version, how terrible it is.
Yeah, because you had to control with
the D-pad, yeah. I have it.
Oh, so bad.
Want to come save Aerosmith with me?
No, I don't want to shoot records.
It's
at aliens.
CDs,
good.
Dude.
Oh, CDs.
Yeah, it was hip
Sorry.
because it was CDs.
It was hip with the times because you were shooting compact discs.
Like fucking laser discs, like they're the size of these poor guys. These poor bastards slicing them in half with CDs.
So bad.
I guess to offset the badness here, though, is I did get a actual PS1 GunCon light gun.
Ooh.
And a copy of Point Blank 3.
My favorite light gun shooter.
I have it.
It's my favorite.
So when I was on eBay about a couple of weeks ago, I saw a listing where, I mean, it's a ton of bangers. Like, it's a PS2 Slim console, 2 controllers,
Okay.
the light gun, Point Blank 3, which is like a $60 disc. Bushido Blade was in there, like all sorts of good games. The auction closed and I won for $50.
Wow.
Like the console I can resell for $100.
Wow. That's
So yeah, now I have Point Blank 3. I just need to track down the other 2 and I'll have all of them, but this one seems to be fairly comprehensive and the shit that goes down, so
yeah, Point Blank 3.
You will get to play Point Blank once again, sir. Once again, you will ride in the world of Point Blank.
I bet if I went digging through closets at my parents' house, I probably have my gun cons. I had 2 of them. I'm sure I probably still have them. I don't think I would have thrown them
Hopefully
away.
not, but hey, who knows? Part of the problem is now just having a TV where you can actually fucking use them.
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for bearing with us through that episode. I'm gonna have a lot of fun editing this week, and we'll be back again next week after I've done an entire lap around the state of Virginia.
Ugh. Yeah. And after I've hopefully beaten God of War Ragnarok, I want to put that game down. I feel like I'm
going to
close.
do a whole lap of the state of Virginia, and then take a mini vacation to Ocean City, and then when I get home, it's going to be right back on the microphone. So should be a fun one.
Well, I'll see
So
you
we
then,
will,
Mike.
of course, be back again next week with another great episode of the Power Gamer Podcast. Until then, I'm Mike Dawson.
And I'm Johnny Paulus.
Tune in next time. Take care.
Catch you on the flip flop.
Oh, yeah.